Domain expansion. Halls of Fate's favored. I have to pick those up now. Hello there everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Continuing on with our first edition Pathfinder Cleric guide, today we are going to be taking a look at some of the domains that you're able to get access to. This isn't everything I have planned for domains, and this might be a little bit quick, but that's as much for my benefit as it is to make sure that you're not having to consume everything in like a half-hour, 45-minute block. As, you know, statistically speaking, a lot of you are not sticking around for quite that long, so we'll try to get into things kind of quick here. But if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then why not go down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now, we'll actually start digging into this, and just a quick reminder, the fact that this is a guide, none of this really has to be specifically set in stone. This is an attempt to try to take a look at things that are mathematically, mechanically going to benefit your character overall. But that said, if there's something that just fits better, then go with that, because the only way to play wrong is to play in a way that's not really fun for you. If you're going to have more fun with a character that's got some interesting choices, maybe not the most optimal ones, but they just fit what you're going for, then do that. Absolutely do that, because that's the most important thing, is that you and your friends have fun. Now, we'll actually get into this. So for our first domain, we are going to pick up Liberation. Now, the bonus spells that you get out of that, first level, you have Remove Fear. Second level is Remove Paralysis. Third level, you get Remove Curse. Fourth is Freedom of Movement. Fifth, you get Break Enchantment. Sixth is Greater Dispel Magic. Seventh is Refuge. Eighth is Mind Blank. And ninth level, you get Freedom. Refuge, I actually really like. I've gone through a couple of different guides, such as Illusories, for example, and Refuge doesn't really seem to get consistently rated, and I kind of land more on the side of thinking this is an incredibly useful spell, because you essentially enchant a little item, a token, and you can trigger it so that or set it so that if the person breaks the token, they either come back to the place that the token was keyed to, a refuge that you have set up for them, or you can set it so that you arrive at the person who had the token if they break it. Now, you have to pick that out when you start, and the person does have to be on the same plane of existence as you, but what an incredible way to make an entrance, and also not a bad way for somebody to have a means of escape, whether for yourself, an ally, somebody that you know will be able to get you and the rest of your allies brought back if things go sideways and everything goes absolutely disastrous for you. But overall, this is not a bad bonus spell list, and it should be noted that with these bonus domain spells, these are what you get on top of your daily spell allotments. You can't change any of these. These are just the bonus spells that you get, and typically, you're only going to be able to cast each of these once unless you already have them on your spell list or have some other means of accessing them. Now, for your domain power, first, you get Liberation at first level. This allows you to move normally, even with magic effects that normally impede you, per the Freedom of Movement spell, for 1 round per cleric level. That's great to have, especially since if you do get locked down, that can spell quite a bit of trouble, depending on the type of cleric build that you are. As if nothing else, if you get locked down, say, in the midst of a web spell or entangle, then you're going to have to be expending one of your spell slots to try to get free, or making strength checks, or whatever means are necessary to get out of that area of effect. And if you just have a way of going, nope, freedom for me, and getting out of it, then Liberation is going to be incredibly handy for you and will sustain its usefulness for pretty much the bulk of your adventuring career. At 8th level, you are going to get Freedom's Call. You emit a 30-foot aura that lasts 1 round per level of Cleric, and allies within that aura aren't affected by the confused, grappled, frightened, panicked, paralyzed, pinned, or shaken conditions. This only lasts during the aura's duration. After it's ended, these conditions resume if they still persist. So, that doesn't sound all that terrible there at the end, and it's really not, because if one of your allies is grappled or pinned down and you activate this, they just get to be free, or have easy means of getting around many of these different status effects. Perhaps even time enough for you or anybody else who has the capability of doing so to use whatever magics or items are at your disposal to remove these effects, or to get each other free and then deal with the threats that are in place. Because at 8th level, this is lasting you for 8 rounds, and 8 rounds of combat where the party is not pinned down or affected by any of these effects is going to be staggeringly useful. So definitely the Liberation domain, absolutely incredible, worth it for a lot of different Cleric builds. Next, we have the Fate subdomain, which is a subdomain of the Luck domain. Now, the bonus spells you get from here, first level is True Strike, second level, Augury, third level, Borrow Fortune, fourth level, Freedom of Movement, fifth level, Break Enchantment, sixth level, Mislead, seventh level, Spell Turning, eighth level, Moment of Prescience, and ninth level, Miracle. All of these are pretty awesome. Moment of Prescience is another one I really like, because you are essentially getting a caster level bonus to a single d20 roll. There are limits to it, but it's not even necessarily just rolls, but it's a moment that you have enchanted on yourself. It's a bonus that you have in place that you can activate at will, even during another person's turn or another target's turn, and you can enact this as a response. Say you have an attack that is going to hit you, but you can use this to activate it and gain a significant bonus to your armor class, and potentially turn that what's going to be an effective, potentially even character-ending strike into something that is going to just, thankfully, by some miracle, glance off of you. So definitely a handy spell. Most all of these are also handy. Augury is one that is going to feed you a lot of information that you're essentially getting from the DM yourself, and at a pretty solid chance of success, because it's a percentile roll and it adds in your character level as a bonus to it, topping out at 90% if I'm remembering correctly. Now, for your first level domain power as part of the Fate subdomain, you have Bit of Luck. So coming in at first level, it's a standard action to touch target creature, and for the next round, anytime a d20 is rolled, they may roll twice and take the better result, and this is usable 3 times plus your wisdom modifier per day. So if you're sitting at an 18 for your wisdom modifier, this is usable for 7 times a day for yourself, for the party's paladin or barbarian, or whoever may be with you. Say you're working with a fighter that is built into, say, dual-wielding scimitars, and 2-weapon fighting and everything, and they've expanded their critical threat range so that they're critting anywhere from a 15 to 20 on an attack. So anytime they roll a d20 and all of those attacks are going to fall under that category, you're significantly upping the chances that they are going to be getting multiple critical hits. That is a huge benefit to have, and that's just one example. That is a combat example, and you can keep magnifying this overall too, like any number of different effects. So Bit of Luck is an incredible ability. That alone sells the Fate subdomain pretty hard. But next, at 8th level, you get Haze of Daydreams. Force a creature in line of sight to reroll any one roll before the result is revealed. The only hiccup to this is that this is usable once a day, plus 1 use every 6 levels after 8th. But really, honestly, that's not too bad, because that is pretty powerful there, because if you see that the target has rolled a 20 on a d20 roll, they're getting a critical hit if it's a combat character. Well, you don't know, the DM hasn't officially revealed the result, but say you have you have seen the result if your DM doesn't use a DM screen. I don't. But you see that, you can go, well, using Haze of Daydreams, you can force them to re-roll that. Or even if they do have a DM screen, even if they don't roll in the open like the rest of the players, this is still going to be really useful, especially if you have any kind of familiarity with your DM's facial expressions. If they have no poker face, well, this is going to be pretty handy for that. This is just handy in general, so I'm going to stop talking myself in circles around here, and we're going to keep moving on right on along. Now, the last domain we are going to cover today is Madness. So first level, we have our first bad spell, Lesser Confusion. It's just not great. I mean, yes, it is a bonus spell. You don't have to make use of it, but in comparison to a lot of the other bonus spells, the bonus domain spells that you can get from other lists, this kind of hurts. Second level is Touch of Idiocy. Third level is Rage, which is okay as far as buffs go, but again, you've got other better options and you're probably not going to use it. Fourth level, we have Confusion. Fifth level is Nightmare. Sixth level, we have Phantasmal Killer. Seventh level is Insanity. Eighth level, we have Scintillating Pattern. And ninth level, we have Weird. Now, not a terrible list, but certainly one of the weaker domain spell lists we've seen so far. I like the Nightmare spell, but honestly, this is limited to living creatures, and creatures like elves, they're not affected by this, and even then, I like it. I think it's a very interesting spell. It's fitting. I like that it's on the Madness domain spell list, regardless of its mechanical effectiveness. But yeah, it's maybe not the greatest thing ever. But the first level power you get, Vision of Madness, is pretty cool. You have to make a touch attack to deliver a bonus equal to 1/2 your cleric level to the target's attack rolls, saving throws, or skill checks. You pick one of those. The two not chosen take a penalty equal to 1/2 your cleric level. If you're in a fight, give the bonus to the target's skill checks and tank their saving throws or attack rolls. It's going to be hilarious. Now, your 8th level your 8th level domain power is Aura of Madness. You emit a 30-foot aura of madness for a number of rounds equal to your cleric level. Enemies in this area are affected by confusion as per the confusion spell, unless they make a will save DC 10 plus 1/2 your cleric level plus your wisdom modifier. So if you've worked up to, say, a 20 or a 22 wisdom score, that's a +5, +6 right there. And at 8th level, that's 1/2 your cleric level is 4. So you're sitting at a 20, 21 will saving throw. Now, maybe that's not going to affect some of the more significant threats, but if you're facing, say, again, a combat threat, or you've got a lot of just regular mooks, the NPCs meant to burn a lot of your abilities, hitting them all with confusion, a decent number of them are going to fail and be fairly ineffectual overall to you and your party. Now, it should be noted that the effect ends for an opponent if they leave the area or the aura expires, and creatures that save are immune to the aura for 24 hours, but that's pretty standard for a lot of effects like this. Really not too bad at all as far as a negative goes. Overall, this is just great to have a 30-foot aura centered on you, radiating out that specifically picks out your enemies. That's great to have. What a wonderful ability. And these 3 domains are just, the tip of the iceberg as far as some of the incredible options that you have go. And certainly there's going to be more to cover. I do plan on covering more, but still, I'm happy to know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below so we can engage in discussion. I'm certainly happy to try to. I am also trying to catch up on backlogs of comments. I say backlogs like it's a significant number. It's never not going to be a busy time, so leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll try and keep up. Hit the like or dislike buttons either way, and if you've made it this far, you must have enjoyed something, so why not go down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time. Good gaming to you all, and you all have yourselves a good night.